President Biden will meet Monday with the parents of Austin Tice, a freelance journalist and former Marine Corps officer who was kidnapped while reporting in Syria on August 14, 2012. His exact whereabouts are unknown, but the Syrian government has said that they will not even discuss the matter while U.S. forces continue to operate in the northern part of the country. For more on this, let's welcome Ed O'Keefe. He's CBS News senior White House and political correspondent. Hey there, Ed. So what do we know about when this meeting will take place?
Well, we know it'll happen today. President Biden said so earlier today when we asked him about it. And it follows the case of Austin Tice earning a big high-profile reminder, if you will, during Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner. It was our colleague Stephen Portnoy of CBS News Radio, who was chairman of the dinner, who in his remarks to the crowd reminded them of Austin Tice and at least 9 journalists who've been killed so far this year in Ukraine. And then he called out his mother, who happened to be a guest of one of the news organizations there. And she stood, and later the president said, "I want to meet with you and your husband." So Mark and Deborah Tice are here at the White House at some point today for a meeting. And we'll see after that what more is said about what the administration can do, is doing, plans to do to get him home.
Yeah, our Steve Portnoy getting results there. What else do we know about the administration's efforts to get Tice released from Syria? Have they made any strides?
Well, we know that they have been trying. There was a meeting in December between White House National Security Advisor and the Tice family. Since then, there have been 3 other meetings as recently as last week with administration officials to talk about the case. Tice is one of a handful of Americans who remain, either unaccounted for or being held hostage, in essence, by countries around the world. The 2 most high-profile right now, of course, are in Russia. High-profile beyond Austin, I should say, are Paul Whelan and Brittany Griner, who are being held in Russia for various reasons. There was some hope that Whelan, who's been detained about as long as Trevor Reed, who was released last week, might be freed alongside Trevor. That didn't happen. The push continues to try to get him out. And Brittany Griner's case, of course, the WNBA star being detained on a drug possession or drug paraphernalia possession charge, also continues to proceed. There's a whole office of officials over at the State Department who deal with this. It has existed for several years across administrations, and they continue to work on these cases in a careful way. They pointed out last week, for example, when Trevor Reed was released, that negotiation with Russia was ongoing, separate and apart from the ongoing war in Ukraine and the tough talk between President Biden and Vladimir Putin, which shows you how delicate, how painstaking, how long it can take for negotiations and diplomacy on these matters to play out successfully. So what happened Saturday at the dinner, by calling more attention to Tice in the wake of Trevor Reed's release last week, and some planned protests here in Washington by members of Paul Whelan's family and Trevor Reed's family to try to get the White House to push for his release a little more later this week, continues to remind all of us that there are Americans being held wrongfully or on trumped-up charges in countries all over the world.
Important to keep the spotlight and the pressure on. Ed O'Keefe from the White House, thank you very much.
Take care.